Never would I have imagined that a simple flashlight and a roll of duct tape would become my most powerful allies on this pivotal evening. I'm Mason Caldwell, pushing 39, making my living as a mechanic at an industrial machine shop just beyond Denver city limits. At this moment, I'm hunkered down in my friend's weathered Ford F-150, concealed in the murky shadows of a dilapidated motel along I-70. The evening air vibrates with passing traffic and the subtle electric hum of a blinking neon vacancy sign. Its dim glow barely illuminates the gray envelope resting on my knees, containing divorce papers I reluctantly signed earlier today. While my hands remain steady, my insides are churning like a misfiring engine. The reason I'm here? Lila, my partner of 12 years. She's 37, a brilliant accountant at a downtown medical supply firm. Just yesterday, an anonymous message from one of her colleagues revealed her plans. She'd be showing up at this seedy establishment after work, accompanied by her new romantic interest. I didn't bother asking for details. There was no need. Armed with only a plan and my old shop supervisor's wisdom echoing in my mind. When a machine breaks, don't fix it blind. Find out who screwed up first. That's exactly what tonight is about. Uncovering the truth. The motel's parking area is sparse, dotted with weary-looking sedans and one rusty RV. I've strategically positioned myself behind a dumpster, ensuring her green Honda CR-V won't detect my presence until it's too late. The truck's interior reeks of day-old coffee and engine grease, a stark contrast to the polished lifestyle Lila's been pursuing recently. I adjust my position, feeling the cold metal of the flashlight against my leg and the weight of the duct tape in my jacket. Unusual weapons, perhaps, but I'm not here for physical confrontation. My target is something far more profound. Suddenly, there they are. Headlights pierce the growing darkness as her SUV glides in, unhurried and confident, as if time stands still. My heartbeat accelerates. She parks near the office, and moments later, a gleaming Dodge Charger pulls up alongside. The driver emerges, tall, with meticulously styled hair, carrying himself with unearned confidence. That must be Travis Keaton. I'd stake everything on it. The same guy she's been endlessly praising lately. He saunters to her window, says something that draws out her laughter, then struts toward the motel office. My fingers clench around the envelope. The moment of truth has arrived. Before I share the next part of this intense journey, I want to pause and ask, where are you following this story from? Feel free to share your location in the comments section. I'm genuinely curious about who's joining me on this emotional roller coaster. And if you're already invested in this tale, don't forget to subscribe for future updates. Believe me, what's coming next is worth staying for. I ease myself from the truck's cabin, maintaining a low profile as my boots make contact with the weathered asphalt. Despite the crisp evening air, perspiration forms beneath my jacket. Testing her passenger door, I find it unlocked. Typical Lila, always careless about security. The leather seat protests softly as I settle in, causing her to whirl around, her startled gasp piercing the silence. Mason, what are you doing here? Her voice carries a mix of shock and fear, but I remain unmoved. Without hesitation, I toss the envelope on her lap and recline, fixing her with an unwavering stare. Just delivering divorce papers to my soon-to-be former wife. Don't let me interrupt your evening with your new man. Carry on. She struggles with the envelope, her trembling hands betraying her composure. No, please, you've got it all wrong. I can explain everything. Her words rush out desperately, but they ring hollow. I interrupt her, my tone measured and cold. Don't bother. I've seen enough. Through the window, I observe Travis returning, room key swinging from his fingers, his cocky expression faltering as he notices her distress. He's about to step into a situation he never anticipated, and neither is she. The flashlight weighs heavy in my pocket, the duct tape at the ready. This night is far from over. Lila's gaze flickers between me and the now wrinkled envelope in her lap. her breathing becoming increasingly erratic. The motel's neon signage bathes her features in an eerie mix of pink and blue hues. She's still searching for words, her voice rising with panic. "Mason, please listen, this isn't what you think." I have no patience for her justifications. I lean in closer, my presence looming over her, and speak in a menacing whisper. "I don't care what it appears to be, Lila. I care about what it is. And we both know exactly what that is." Her lips quiver, but before another fabrication can escape, the driver's door creaks open. Travis returns, flaunting the room, key like a prized possession. His confident demeanor crumbles when he notices her tear-stained face, his expression morphing from bewilderment to something more sinister. "Who's this joker?" he demands, gesturing aggressively toward me. Lila's response comes out broken and strained. "He's my husband, Travis." His gaze hardens as he advances, his posture radiating hostility. "Husband? What's this guy doing interrupting our evening?" Not waiting for her response, I thrust the passenger door open and emerge into the crisp night air. Travis circles the Honda's hood, his heavy boots grinding against the gravel as he evaluates me. His overpowering cologne cuts through the stagnant motel air, thick with cigarette smoke. "Beat it, buddy," he growls, flexing his fingers menacingly. "This isn't your business anymore." I nearly chuckle. "Not my business?" My hand slides into my jacket, gripping the flashlight. "This is absolutely my business." As he takes another threatening step, I make my move. The flashlight beam blazes to life, striking his eyes directly. It's an industrial-grade light from the workshop, powerful enough to disorient anyone working beneath a vehicle. Travis recoils, shielding his face, and staggers backward with a string of expletives. "What the hell?" he shouts, blinking frantically, but I'm already in motion. I extract the duct tape, tear off a length with my teeth, and strike. He throws a wild punch that barely grazes my shoulder, his vision compromised and balance unstable. I seize his wrist, wrench it behind him, and secure it to the Dodge's handle with a hasty strip of tape. He rides like a caged animal, but the adhesive holds firm, the sound of tearing tape piercing the quiet parking lot. "You're dead, understand?" he bellows, yanking so violently the vehicle shakes. I retreat, pulse racing, and catch Lila's terrified gaze from within the SUV. She clutches the envelope desperately, mascara-stained tears marking her cheeks, silently mouthing words drowned out by Travis's threats. I don't linger to decipher them. I toss the flashlight onto her seat as a final gesture and sprint toward the Ford. The Ford's engine roars to life as I accelerate away, sending gravel flying beneath the wheels. Through the rearview mirror, I glimpse Travis still struggling against his bonds, one hand desperately clawing at the tape while the other shields his dazzled eyes. Lila remains motionless in her seat, a shadow of defeat, frozen in the aftermath of her own betrayal. My grip tightens on the steering wheel until my knuckles pale, but I can't suppress the satisfied smirk forming on my face. They wanted an unforgettable evening. Well, I've certainly delivered that. But this saga isn't over. Far from it. A flashlight and some tape are just the opening act, and they're about to discover what happens when someone pushes a man like me beyond his limits. The endless stretch of highway unfolds before me, dark and promising, as I feel the balance of power shifting. They initiated this conflict. I'll be the one to conclude it. The truck's beams pierce through the darkness as I thunder down Interstate 70, watching the motel diminish in my mirrors. The adrenaline from the confrontation still courses through my veins, with Travis's angry shouts and Lila's weeping echoing in my mind. I could have walked away right then, made a clean break, but that's not how this story unfolds. To grasp why I'm out here, playing vigilante with basic tools, you need to understand the complete breakdown. This isn't just about tonight's events. It's about 12 years of shattered promises. I'm Mason Caldwell, a mechanic who's dedicated half his existence to working with machines in a shop outside Denver. Lila Hensley is my wife, or was, depending on your perspective, at 37. She's a financial analyst crunching numbers for a medical supply company. We have a daughter, Juniper, 10 years old, blessed with her mother's hazel eyes and my determination. We call a modest ranch house in our Arvada home, just west of Denver, complete with its weathered porch and a garage that houses my cherished collection of tools. For a time, it seemed perfect, a simple but fulfilling life. Then everything began unraveling. It all started with Dolores Hensley, Lila's mother, a 65-year-old retired Boulder High School teacher with a razor-sharp tongue and contempt for anyone who didn't meet her standards. During our first meeting 13 years ago, she evaluated me over an overcooked pot roast with undisguised disdain. No college education, no prestigious career, just a mechanic, Mason. Her smile was present, but her eyes remained cold. She insisted Lila deserved someone better than a man who carried the scent of motor oil and couldn't recite poetry. I dismissed it then, expecting her attitude would improve. It never did. Dolores had her perfect specimen in Garrett, Lila's brother-in-law, a polished attorney practicing in Boulder alongside Lila's sister. His custom-tailored suits cost more than my entire vehicle, and Dolores never ceased singing his praises. Every gathering, every conversation inevitably circled back to Garrett's achievements. Initially, Lila found humor in it, squeezing my hand beneath the table in silent conspiracy. But after Dolores's retirement, those phone conversations stretched longer, and Lila's amusement faded. She'd end calls with tension visible in her jawline, often losing herself in distant thoughts while gazing through our kitchen window. The situation deteriorated when Juniper entered elementary school. Dolores relocated closer, purchasing a condominium barely 40 minutes away, and began making unexpected visits. She'd settle into our living room, tea in hand, methodically critiquing my existence. When will you pursue a legitimate career, Mason? Why maintain such a disorganized household? One evening, while I was repairing our mower outdoors, she cornered Lila in the kitchen. I returned to hear her declare, "You could have shared Garrett's lifestyle if you'd shown more ambition." Lila's silent acceptance of that statement embedded itself in my consciousness like a persistent thorn. Gradually, Dolores's influence eroded our foundation. Lila began extending her work hours, upgrading her wardrobe, and pursuing unnecessary career advancements. When I'd returned from the garage, hands stained with engine grease, she'd recoil slightly, muttering comparisons to Garrett's pristine appearance. Though I remained silent for Juniper's sake, the emotional gap widened. Enter Travis, a charismatic sales executive at her workplace, armed with charm and grand aspirations. Lila's tone softened noticeably when discussing him, more than it had with me in recent memory. He possesses ambition, Mason. He's destined for success. I'd acknowledge minimally, maintaining my focus elsewhere, but the transformation was unmistakable. She was drifting away, with Dolores providing the final push toward her escape. Tonight's events weren't coincidental. They represented the culmination of years of deterioration, beginning in that Boulder dining room. I could have remained passive, playing the oblivious husband, while Lila pursued her reimagined future. But that contradicts my nature. My former supervisor always emphasized, when equipment shows signs of instability, don't await catastrophic failure. Address the imbalance before it causes complete breakdown. That's precisely what I executed at the motel. Yet my corrective measures aren't complete. This situation extends beyond a restrained adulterer and his tearful accomplice, and I possess the necessary tools to uncover its full depth. The highway's steady vibration accompanies my certainty. They remain unaware of what's approaching. The Ford's engine growls as I exit I-70 into Arvada, headlights cutting through the darkness of our residential street. The house emerges ahead, silent and shadowed, except for the porch light Juniper faithfully maintains for my return. After killing the engine, I remain seated, letting the night's heaviness settle around me while my thoughts race uncontrollably. Lila's transformation wasn't sudden, and Travis wasn't merely an opportunistic intruder. This was a carefully orchestrated blaze that Dolores had methodically fueled, but I needed concrete evidence to extinguish it completely. That evidence materialized yesterday, leading me to that motel with more than just divorce documentation in my possession. It began with an unexpected call at the workshop. I was positioned beneath a lathe, struggling with a stubborn bolt, when my phone vibrated against the concrete. Unknown caller. After wiping my grease-stained hands on my jeans, I answered, anticipating a sales pitch. Instead, a woman's voice, sharp and direct, pierced through. "Mason? This is Nora. I'm Lila's co-worker." I remained motionless, the workshop's ambient noise fading to silence. She was refreshingly blunt. "There's this guy, Travis Keaton, at the company. 3 of us women have been pursuing him, myself, a single woman named Claire, and your wife." Lila succeeded. "She's boasting about meeting him tomorrow after work and Motel along I-70. I'm truly sorry." Her apology felt inadequate. My insides churned, but I maintained composure. "What's your motivation for telling me?" Nora paused briefly before responding. "She has a child and a devoted husband at home." I warned her to stop, but she dismissed me completely. I despise unfaithful people. The connection terminated before I could probe further. Standing there, bolt still suspended in my grip, I felt reality shift beneath me. Lila wasn't merely drifting away. She was orchestrating her escape, confident in my ignorance. Sleep eluded me that night. With Juniper at a friend's house, I had the empty space to myself, accompanied only by creaking floorboards during my restless pacing. Nora's revelation tormented me, but it also ignited something. My former supervisor's wisdom echoed. Don't let emotional turmoil cloud your judgment. Strike back with calculated precision. I wouldn't resort to office confrontations or desperate pleas. That's not my style. They'd feel the full impact of their actions, but on my terms. By dawn, my strategy was crystallized. I called in a favor of the workshop, exchanging my weathered Chevy for my colleague's Ford F-150 to ensure Lila wouldn't recognize my approach. I visited the county clerk's office in the city center, collected divorce paperwork, and completed it at my workstation, watching the ink smear beneath my oil-stained fingers. But legal documents weren't sufficient. I needed to create an unexpected disruption, something that would shatter their confidence. That's when I turned to my toolbox. I selected a powerful flashlight, capable of illuminating an entire warehouse, and industrial-grade duct tape, adhesive strong enough to immobilize anything. Basic tools, perhaps, but wielded strategically, they'd prove more effective than physical confrontation. I surveyed the motel that afternoon, a dilapidated establishment with flaking paint and a malfunctioning vending machine dispensing damaged beverages. The parking area featured an ideal concealment spot behind a waste container, perfectly sized for the truck. I positioned myself there 60 minutes before Lila's shift concluded, observing heavy trucks thundering past on the interstate, my heartbeat echoing in my skull. Her green Honda would arrive shortly, with Travis's Dodge following close behind. I hadn't met Nora, couldn't fully understand her motives for revealing their secret, but her information provided the leverage I needed to execute this plan. Now, returning from the aftermath I orchestrated, I can't shake the image of Travis struggling against his vehicle, Lila's expression dissolving in the beam of that hurled flashlight. The satisfaction runs deeper than I'd openly acknowledge, but it's merely the initial phase. I possess Nora's contact information, official documentation with the clerk's validation, and numerous strategies they won't anticipate. This isn't about salvaging what's damaged anymore. It's about dismantling everything beyond repair. The porch light flickers as I exit the truck, and one certainty remains. The real impact is yet to come. I enter the house, the door sealing behind me, encountering a wall of silence. With Juniper at her friend's house, only the refrigerator's steady drone accompanies me. My jacket carries the weight of tonight's events, the subtle scent of adhesive lingering on my sleeve. The motel scene replays continuously. Travis immobilized against his vehicle, Lila's face contorted with tears and disbelief. I should feel accomplished, but this is just the beginning. The true devastation commences now. I sink into the couch, retrieve my laptop from the coffee table, and power it up. The screen casts a harsh glow in the dimly lit room as I navigate through Lila's work correspondence. Accessing her account through credentials she carelessly left exposed last year. A thread of messages with Travis unfolds, starting with subtle flirtation before turning explicit. Join me Friday, after hours. You won't be disappointed. My teeth clench, but I'm focused on my mission. I capture screenshots, attach them to a fresh email, and enter an address discovered on her company's website. Karen, Travis's spouse, employed at a Cheyenne banking institution. Subject: your husband's activities. With a click, it's done. I recline, savoring the moment. She's hundreds of miles north, likely enjoying her morning coffee, unaware. Until now, I reach for my phone, dialing Pete, a former garage colleague who now works in private investigation. He answers after 3 rings, his voice rough from countless late-night stakeouts. Mason, what brings you? I'm direct, looking for information on Travis Keaton, sales department at Lila's workplace. Pete's laugh is knowing. Marriage troubles? I remain serious. Just find something useful. He acknowledges with a grunt, promises results, and disconnects. Pete's reliable. He once uncovered a concealed DUI record in 2 days for a divorce proceeding. Travis is unprepared for what's coming. As midnight approaches, car lights pierce through the window blinds. Peering out, I watch Lila's Honda swerve into the driveway. She emerges unsteadily, disheveled hair, bloodshot eyes, pounding on the entrance like she's fleeing something. I deliberately count to 10 before slowly opening the door. She rushes inside, voice trembling. Mason, we need to discuss this. Right now. I stand against the wall, arms folded. Go ahead. She moves anxiously, fidgeting. Travis is devastated. The light damaged his vision. I had to take him for medical attention. He's threatening legal action. I can't suppress a smirk. Sue? On what grounds? His dignity's plastered to his vehicle. Her expression crumbles. This isn't amusing. You've embarrassed everyone. I move closer, speaking quietly. You brought this shame on yourself, Lila. You both thought you'd slip away. Unnoticed. I just brought everything to light. She suddenly grabs my arm, begging. Please end this. I'll do whatever you want. I pull away, retrieve a document from the counter, and slam it down. Divorce papers. Sign them, or these emails go to your supervisor, your family, everyone. She stares, speechless, as her resistance visibly crumbles. Before I can hear her response, my phone vibrates. It's Pete. I move to the kitchen, keeping my voice low. What have you found? His reply is swift and satisfying. Travis fabricated his resume, inflating sales figures from his previous position. The company has zero tolerance for such deception. One anonymous tip would seal his fate. A cold smile spreads across my face. Forward everything to me. I'll take it from here. Returning to the living room, I find Lila collapsed on the couch, face buried in her palms. I observe her breakdown in silence. She believes this is rock bottom. She's mistaken. I've already drafted an email to her HR department, with Pete's evidence ready to deploy, and composed a venomous message to Dolores, waiting to be sent. This is merely the beginning of her downfall. The kitchen timepiece shows 2 a.m. As I fill a glass with water, the atmosphere's still charged with Lila's defeat. She's departed now, fleeing after confronting those divorce papers as if they were poisonous. I didn't need to pressure her. The folder remains on the countertop, her trembling signature in blue ink marking her surrender. But I'm not ready to celebrate. There's more damage to inflict, and I'm just getting started. Dawn arrives quickly. Juniper returns from her friend's house, enthusiastically describing pizza and horror films while I prepare breakfast. I maintain a neutral expression, though my phone weighs heavily in my pocket. Pete's evidence arrives at noon, a PDF exposing Travis's deceptions, exaggerated sales records, a fabricated employment history. I forward it anonymously to Lila's HR department, letting the evidence speak for itself. By mid-afternoon, Karen messages from Cheyenne, an unexpected development. Saw what you sent. He's gone. Thank you. I delete it without responding. Lila calls 60 minutes later, her voice breaking. Mason, they've suspended me. Someone sent HR information about Travis, and now everyone's under investigation. What have you done? From my position at the garage workbench, surrounded by gleaming tools, I respond emotionlessly, unfortunate timing. Perhaps you chose poor allies. She breaks down sobbing. You're destroying everything. I end the call without remorse, feeling only the steady rhythm of revenge. My next move, messaging Dolores, your daughter's quite the performer. Motel superstar. Ask her about it. I send it, imagining her face contorting with anger. Time melts away like snow. Travis's life crumbles first, the pieces scattering like broken glass. Pete's network whispers the news. Travis is terminated, his name toxic in Denver sales circles. Karen serves divorce papers, claims their upscale condo, leaving him to retreat to his mother's spare room in some forgotten suburb. Lila's temporary suspension becomes permanent after HR uncovers intimate emails lurking in her work computer, digital footprints she carelessly left behind. She relocates to a cramped Aurora apartment, trading corporate accounting for strip mall bookkeeping, her designer wardrobe replaced by secondhand clothes. Dolores disowns her, sending me a lengthy letter about family disgrace. I shred it, watching the pieces dance in the wind. The house remains mine, along with Juniper. She's bewildered initially, questioning her mother's absence. I explain that adults sometimes make mistakes, but assure her we're unshakable. We escape to the Rockies, her laughter echoing through evergreens as I show her fishing techniques. Career-wise, I flourish, securing a promotion that bolsters her college savings. Lila maintains weekend visits, subdued now, without Travis or Dolores accompanying her. One evening, she lingers after Juniper's drop-off, her eyes vacant with regret. Mason, I was blind to your worth until I destroyed everything. I acknowledge silently. Words seem inadequate. She disappears into the darkness, diminishing with each step. The aftermath cuts deep. Our divorce proceeds swiftly, her infidelity proven through digital trails and hotel documentation my attorney discovers. Travis loses everything, his profession, marriage, and confidence shattered. Lila's carefully crafted image burns to nothing, her ambitious dreams grounded permanently. Me, I remain stable, wounded but resilient. Betrayal's blade swings both ways, and while they hemorrhaged, I mended my wounds. My former supervisor's wisdom rings true. Address instability or face destruction. I chose stability, and here I stand. The story concludes here. Did the ending meet your expectations or surprise you? Share your thoughts below. If this tale resonated with you, remember to like and subscribe for future stories. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.